Hey there, friends. So I want you to think about that little blue and yellow can sitting on a shelf in your garage right now. Most of us reach for it exactly once a year, right when a door hinge starts squeaking. And that's kind of a shame, because that can was never really designed to be a squeaky hinge fix in the first place. Here's the part that surprised me when I first learned it. The name WD-40 actually stands for Water Displacement 40th Formula. Back in 1953, a small team out in California was hired by an aerospace company to come up with something that could keep missile parts from rusting out in salty, humid coastal air. It took them 40 tries to land on a formula that actually worked. So every time you pick up that can, you're holding something that started out solving a pretty serious industrial problem, not just quieting a creaky door. Today, I want to walk you through 12 ways I've found to put that can to work all around the house, the car, and even a few surprising spots you'd never expect. Let's get into it. Let's start with something that drives me a little crazy. Those black scuff marks that show up on tile, vinyl, or hardwood. Boots, furniture legs, even the wheels on your kid's toy bin, they all leave these marks behind, and mopping just does not touch them. If you've ever tried scrubbing one out with a stiff brush, you probably noticed it can dull the finish on your floor, which is not a trade I'm willing to make. What actually works is a quick, direct spray of WD-40 right onto the mark. Give it about 10 seconds to sit and soften up that rubber. Then grab a paper towel or a rag and just wipe. The mark lifts right off and your floor's shine stays exactly where it should be. One thing I'd suggest though, go over the spot afterward with some warm, soapy water so it isn't slick underfoot. Anyone who owns a delicate gold or silver necklace knows this pain. It gets tangled into this impossibly tight little knot at the bottom of your jewelry box, and picking at it with your fingernails for 20 minutes usually ends with the chain snapping in half. Here's a trick that actually respects how delicate those links are. Lay the necklace flat on a table and put just a tiny drop of WD-40 right on the knot itself. Then take 2 ordinary sewing needles, one in each hand, and gently work the tips into the center of that knot. The oil gives the metal just enough slip that the loops start to separate on their own, and within a few seconds, the whole thing comes loose. A quick rinse with warm, soapy water afterward, and that chain is ready to wear again. A zipper that jams halfway up a winter coat, a duffel bag, or a sleeping bag is one of those little frustrations that can ruin a morning. And forcing it almost always makes things worse, bending the teeth or tearing the fabric around it. Most of the time, a stuck zipper isn't actually broken. It's just grit, dirt, or road salt that's worked its way into the slider. Use the little red straw that comes with the can and give the slider mechanism one small targeted spray. Wait about 10 seconds, then gently work the pull back and forth. That tiny bit of lubrication flushes the debris out of the track, and it should glide again like nothing ever happened. Gum smashed into a rug or your favorite jeans has a way of making people reach straight for the scissors, which never ends well. Before you cut anything, try this instead. Spray WD-40 directly onto the gum and the fibers around it, then work it in gently with your fingers for about 30 seconds. That's usually all it takes to break down the gum's stickiness. Once it loosens its grip, the whole clump should pull free from the carpet or fabric cleanly. A wipe with a damp cloth afterward, and you'd never know it happened. If wasps or hornets keep setting up shop under your porch eaves, around outdoor lighting, or even inside your mailbox, you don't have to wait until someone gets stung to deal with it. Give those areas a light spray of WD-40 along the eaves, deck railings, and any corners where you've noticed nests forming before. Many people find that wasps dislike the smell enough that they'll avoid building on treated surfaces altogether and look for somewhere else to settle in. If you've ever worked on a lawnmower, a grill, or an old car, you know the special kind of frustration a rusted bolt brings. Force it with a wrench and you risk snapping the head clean off, and then you're looking at hours of drilling out broken metal. Instead, spray WD-40 right into the threads or the locking mechanism and give it 2 to 3 minutes to soak in. That time really matters because the liquid needs a moment to work its way into the microscopic gaps in the rust. After it's had time to sit, A few light taps with a hammer on the bolt head can help break the rust bond loose, and then it should turn much more easily. This next one works in every season. In winter, wet snow clumps and freezes right onto your shovel blade, and suddenly every scoop feels like twice the weight. In summer, it's wet grass clippings caking onto the underside of your mower deck, clogging the blades and bogging down the engine. The fix for both is the same. Before you start, spray a light coat of WD-40 onto a clean shovel blade or the underside of your mower deck. It creates a slick barrier that helps keep snow, ice, and wet grass from building up, so your shovel glides more easily and your mower cuts cleaner. Peeling an old bumper sticker off usually turns into a mess. The vinyl tears into tiny strips, and underneath you're left with a stubborn layer of yellowed, baked-on glue. Reaching for a razor blade or a metal scraper can scratch right through your paint, and harsh solvents like acetone can damage the clear coat. Instead, lift up a small corner of the sticker and spray WD-40 both behind it and over the top. Let it sit for 2 to 3 minutes so it can break down that old adhesive. The sticker should peel away in one piece, and any leftover residue wipes off easily with a microfiber towel. No scraping required. While that can's still handy by the car, let's talk bug splatter and sap. Long highway drives leave your bumper covered in dried bugs, and parking under the wrong tree in summer means sticky sap spots all over the hood. Scrubbing either one off with a hard sponge at the car wash risks scratching your clear coat. Spray WD-40 directly over the sap or the bug residue, and let it sit for about 30 seconds to soften. Then wipe with a clean microfiber rag. It should come off easily, without any hard scrubbing or scratching. Freezing rain has a way of sealing a car door lock shut at the worst possible moment. Force the key and you risk snapping it off inside the lock. Pour hot water over the handle and it can actually freeze back up even harder a few minutes later. Instead, insert the WD-40 straw directly into the keyhole and give it one quick spray. It helps loosen the frozen mechanism and pushes out any trapped moisture, while also leaving behind a light protective coating that can help prevent it from freezing again so quickly. If a finger ever swells from an injury, heat, or arthritis, and a ring gets stuck, it's easy to panic. Soap and water is the usual go-to, but it washes away fast and can leave your skin irritated in the process. Before assuming a ring needs to be cut off, you can try a small targeted spray of WD-40 around the band and under the metal. Gently work it around the skin for about 5 seconds. Because it reduces the friction between skin and metal, many people find the ring slides off more easily this way. That said, if a finger is severely swollen, painful, or there's any concern about circulation, it's worth reaching out to a medical professional rather than relying on a home fix alone. Last one, and honestly, it might be my favorite. A motor oil or grease stain on a favorite shirt or pair of jeans usually feels like a death sentence for that piece of clothing, especially once it's already been through a hot dryer. Before you toss it, slide a piece of cardboard inside the garment so the stain doesn't bleed through to the other side. Spray WD-40 directly onto the stain. Since oil breaks down oil, it helps loosen that old, dried grease from the fabric fibers. Follow up with a bit of dish soap. Scrub gently for about 10 seconds, and then wash as you normally would. There's a good chance that stain comes out completely, and that shirt gets a second life. So there you have it, 12 ways to get a whole lot more mileage out of one little can that probably costs less than your morning coffee. I'd love to know which of these surprised you the most, or if there's a WD-40 trick you swear by that I didn't mention here. Drop it in the comments, I read every one of them. Thanks so much for spending this time with me, and I'll see you in the next video.